Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So today I wanted to talk about something that is near and dear to my heart, and that is purchasing pre-loved bags. And I'll talk a little bit about pre-loved shoes too, just because we're already here, so you might as well. But mainly I do want to stick to the topic of bags, just because I feel like I've been getting a few messages in my inbox about, hey, where do you buy from? Where do you buy your pre-loved bags from? How do you authenticate them? So I figured we'd talk all about that today. Plus, I feel like a lot of people are buying pre-loved right now, mostly because you can't go into the store, of course. So lots of people are shopping online, buying pre-loved items because they don't have access to go to stores like Chanel or Hermes. And hey, you want to shop a little bit while you're inside, so I get it. Also, another thing that's happened is Chanel's rumored price increases. I don't even think they're rumored anymore. Like, it's just happening. It's happening. So it's not really a rumor. But seems like they're having a pretty hefty price increase that's coming up. I think it's next week or so that I've been seeing around Instagram. And yeah, so even more of a reason to buy more pre-loved items, go to the pre-loved market, because hey, save money where you can. Okay, so I'm gonna try to make this video as organized as possible. I'm not an organized video person, so bear with me. But first, I'm gonna talk about the 3 places that I purchase from. So number 1, I buy from Fashionphile. That is my number 1 for bags. Now, I almost always buy bags on Fashionphile. A majority of my collection, almost every bag, I believe I only have like 1 or 2 bags that I purchased brand new. Almost every single one of my bags is pre-loved, and a majority of those pre-loved bags are from Fashionphile. So that's my number 1 favorite place to purchase from. It's not the only place that I buy from because I do feel like I get better prices sometimes other places, but Fashionphile, I feel like their prices are pretty fair. They do have things go on discount. You can use layaway. They got all of it. They got it all. It's really like a one-stop shop for me when it comes to bags. So I do love Fashionphile, but I do shop 2 other places as well. So the second place is going to be The RealReal, and that's another one of my favorites, but this one is a favorite mostly because of shoes. So I usually use The RealReal to purchase my shoes. So if you guys saw my last video, which was my designer shoe haul, you may have noticed that I purchased my 2 pairs of Chanel shoes from The RealReal, and I love them because they have shoes in all sorts of conditions. Like, you can get ones that are almost brand new, you can get ones that are like pretty discounted because they've been pretty used, and you may be able to take them to a cobbler and get them resold, stuff like that. Like shoes that might need a little bit of love. And I know some people are not cool with like buying pre-loved shoes. I really don't care, like as long as it's not just completely beat to the ground or anything, like I don't mind, especially because a lot of these designer shoes are pretty gently used that they sell. So it's really nice to get that discount. Plus there's a lot of shoes on there that you can't really find anymore, so a lot of discontinued styles. And I've been shopping on The RealReal since 2014, and I know that because I scrolled all the way back in my purchase history the other day just because I was curious. But yeah, I've been shopping there since 2014. And for me to be shopping there that long, they must be pretty good. So I've never bought a bag from there though, by the way. Never bought a bag from there. I'm sure they're great. But I just tend to stick to Fashionphile for bags. Now, the other one that I buy from, and this is usually when I purchase Louis Vuitton specifically, because I feel like out of all the types of bags, I could probably authenticate that one the best on my own. And so that's why I'm totally comfortable with buying Louis Vuitton on eBay. Now, when it comes to eBay, you really do have to be careful because there's so many different sellers out there. But as you guys know, you need to look at the ratings. Like, you have to look at the ratings. There are tons of consignment shops that sell on eBay, which is really, really cool. I have purchased from a lot of Japan consignment shops, which is great because like their ratings are just out of this world amazing. So yeah, make sure to check the ratings. There's a lot of consignment shops that sell on eBay, so a lot of things are pretty reputable as long as you're making sure that you're buying from a reputable company. That's the thing. So when you take a look at these places that are putting up Chanel espadrilles, by the way, I feel like that's like the hardest thing to buy on eBay because a lot of the posts just seem real scammy. So like when you see Chanel espadrilles being sold pre-loved and they have like, it's from a person that has like 1 review, like, I'm not going to touch that. I'm just not going to touch that. That's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to go over to The RealReal, see if they have the espadrilles, and buy them from there. Like, because I can't trust the 1 review, 2 review, 10 reviews even. Like, I need to see you in the thousands. that is how I trust an eBay seller. I gotta see them in the thousands. I gotta see that they have great ratings, they've been around a long time, that the other items that they sell on their profile are also luxury goods, because they could be known for selling other stuff and then they just added this to their profile and like now you're just gonna buy this one item and they never sold a luxury item before. So make sure that you guys are careful if you're going to be shopping on eBay. If a price seems too good to be true, it is. Trust me. I've gotten got before. Like, I definitely have. And that only happened to me one time. And this was a really, really long time ago. And that was when I tried to buy like one of my first designer bags ever. And it was a Louis Vuitton Neverfull. And I bought it. I bought what I thought was going to be a pre-loved Louis Vuitton Neverfull, and it got there and it was a fake. So I've been like scammed before when it comes to that. So I'm very, very careful. That has never happened to me again since then. So that's really good. But I try to be careful, especially when I'm shopping on eBay. Oh, also one more thing too about eBay. So eBay now has, I don't know how long they've had this, but I just started realizing it like maybe a month ago or so. And they have now where it says authenticity verified at the bottom of some of the designer items. So when I went to go look, I can't remember what I was looking for the other day. I think I was just curious about like Birkin pricing on eBay and seeing what they were looking like. So when I searched it, some of them came up and they said authenticity verified at the bottom with a little check mark. So for those, you want to look out for those too, because that means that they've already been pre-authenticated by the pictures. I read the description from eBay, and let me find it for you guys because I want to tell you what it says. So it says experts carefully verify an item's authenticity before it gets listed, so you can be sure that it's authentic when you buy it. It also says that this applies to luxury watches, jewelry, handbags, of course, and wallets from leading brands, as well as collectibles such as coins, comics, and sports cards. So that's pretty cool. They do a lot of different stuff with the eBay Authenticate. I'm not 100% sure how long it's been around, but yeah, I think that it's kind of new because I haven't seen it like before, maybe a month or two ago. I don't know. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool. Now, a couple of tips for buying pre-loved in general. Number one is going to be to keep an eye out for sales. Now you're probably like, what sales? Like what? Pre-loved sales? Yeah, so they have plenty of sales. Like if you go to consignment shop websites like Fashion File and The RealReal, they have sales. And I don't want to call Fashion Files like a sale because it's more so based on how much time a item has been sitting on their website and not being sold. I believe that some people on Perseform have been saying that it's 30 days for some items, it's longer for other items. I'm not 100% sure how that works and like how the time frame works. But what happens is you'll see the discount change. So sometimes they'll have 5% off, sometimes they'll have 10% off, sometimes they'll have 20% off, and then they go up to 30% off. So what will happen if you heart an item is that they'll start sending you email notifications saying that the item that you're watching has been marked down. So if you have an item that you're waiting for the price to go down on, you're like, I really like it. I'm not too concerned about somebody else buying it. If somebody else gets it, it's okay. But I want to keep an eye on it in case it goes down in price and then I'll buy it. It's perfect. It's amazing. Also, Fashion File, like I mentioned before, they have layaway. It's something that they have you put, I think it's 10% or 20% of, I think it might be 20% of the item down, kind of like a down payment, and then you can pay the rest as you go, and you have 60 days to pay it off, and then they'll mail you the item. So it's not like you're taking out credit or anything like that. It's literally just layaway. So if you're trying to budget for a bag, I think that that's a really good thing to do, because what happens when I do that is if I put an item on layaway and I reserve it on Fashion File, I know that anytime I just feel like shopping, I know that, oh, hey, instead, you know what? I'm gonna go put this much money toward my bag that's on layaway on Fashion File instead. So it kind of like soothes my urge to shop, if that makes sense. And I know that I'm like saving for this bigger item. So I really like the Fashion File layaway. Some people, I'm sure, probably don't use it, but I love it. I've been using it for years, so I love it. Now this next tip is actually going to be for eBay, and with this, what you want to do is make sure that you're using the make offer portion. I prefer not to use bid. If you guys like to bid, that's great, but I can't take it. It does something to my heart. It's a lot. I can't take the bid option. Just if you are doing it and you're going to save money, more power to you. I see you there. But what I like to do instead is I like to use the make offer. Like if any of the sellers that are selling a bag or an item that I want has the option to make an offer, I always make sure to use that option rather than just buying it. So rather than even if it just like ends up saving me what the shipping would have cost. Like if the shipping is $20 and then I put in an offer for $20 lower than the item, at least that saved me shipping. So it's not I don't usually go like too low on those. If you want to try it, you can try it, but the sellers are usually really fast to respond, or they may have it like preset to accept a certain amount. So that's a really cool thing to use, and you're gonna kind of just automatically save money. If they have that make offer section, like they're willing to take something lower. So make sure that you guys are using it. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about authentication. So when it comes to authentication, I am not an expert. So as far as individual bags, don't ask me, like I don't really know. I try my best to authenticate based on pictures of the specific bag that I'm buying versus pictures that I've seen of the bag that I'm buying. So one thing that I found really helpful is Purse Forum. If you guys haven't been on Purse Forum, like get on Purse Forum. What are you doing? Get on Purse Forum. Purse Forum's amazing. Like, it's been so helpful, especially if you're buying an older bag. Like what I've noticed is that a lot of the videos on YouTube about authenticating bags tend to be for newer bags. But what I was actually looking at a vintage Kelly, and I just had like some questions. I was just thinking about it, and so I just searched in Purse Forum, and sure enough, vintage Kellys from the same year, people were talking about them, saying should I have this, should I have that. It's just amazing. Purse Forum, I feel like, has answered every purse question in the world. It's all on there, and plus it's just fun to read. I love reading through Purse Forum just on random topics, so I definitely recommend there. Also, like I said, YouTube, there's a lot of YouTube videos on how to authenticate specific bags. So you'll want to make sure to go through those if you're looking for something that's really just like, hey, how to authenticate a Louis Vuitton Speedy bag. Like, I recommend just kind of taking it one thing at a time. You don't need to know how to authenticate every single bag that you see. You just need to know how to authenticate the ones that you want. While we're talking about vintage bags, I also want to say that vintage bags are a really, really good option if you're looking to, first of all, save money, and second of all, have a really good quality bag, because a lot of times, no matter how expensive these brands out there are, their quality probably used to be better. So like that's why I was looking at that vintage Kelly bag. That's why like I would buy a lot of different vintage bags. I buy vintage Louis Vuitton, like all of that. Like I love vintage bags. I think that they have a lot of character to them. I love that they probably have a story to them. And I think that that's just a really cool aspect of it. Plus you end up saving a lot of money because, I mean, they're older bags. Like just no matter how you say it, they're older bags. So I think that it's so great to buy vintage bags. That's one of my favorites. And like, that's what I really want to start looking at a little bit more, because I don't have a ton of vintage bags, but I would like to. Another thing to keep in mind when it comes to authenticity is that certain bags are faked more than others. So if it was a really popular style of bag, something like that, like the Louis Vuitton Neverfull, the Louis Vuitton Speedy, if it's a bag like that, they're going to be a lot more commonly faked than other bags. If you're buying something that's wasn't quite as popular, sometimes there aren't as many dupes and you don't have to worry as much about it. But buying a bag like a Birkin, of course there's tons of Birkin dupes out there, so you really have to be careful. I would say specifically when you're purchasing a popular bag, be even more careful. Always be careful, but be even more careful in that case, because there's more incentive for someone to make a replica of that bag. So just be careful out there. Be careful. And then another tip is going to be, don't buy something that you don't want just because of the price. So especially when you're shopping on sites like Fashion File, The Real, you're looking at eBay, when you're looking at these pre-loved items, don't buy something just because you see a great price. One thing that I see people fall into on Fashion File, or that I can even see myself falling into on Fashion File, is that on Fashion File you can see how many people are watching an item. Same thing with eBay, you can see how many people are watching an item. But the thing with Fashion File is all those people, and even eBay too, this is true for both of them, you're like, all these people think that this is a really good deal and they really like this bag. Maybe I should buy it before one of them buys it, so then I can have the bag, and this is probably the best deal because like 232 people are following this item, so like they must think that it's a good idea. So if they all think it's a good idea, then I should think it's a good idea, so maybe I should buy it. But that might not even be what you want. And even if you see a good deal on a bag that's normally $4,000 for $2,000, if you don't want that bag, then it's not worth $2,000. So make sure that you guys are careful and you stick to what you want. That's why I really try to make a wish list. And I didn't used to do that. And I used to just find myself buying anything that was in front of me and then selling it like right after because I didn't really like it. So please stick to the list of things that you want, especially when you're talking about bags that are pretty expensive. You want to make sure that you're putting that money into something that is really going to make you happy, and that's where your money is going to really be worth the most. Okay guys, so that's all that I have for you. I know I talked for a long time, so I really hope that this was informative and helpful to you. I have been getting quite a few questions about pre-loved bags, so I felt that I really wanted to make this video. Plus, I just love talking about it. So if you guys do have any questions, or if you have any ideas for videos for me to do in the future, please leave them down below and I will definitely check them out. Also, follow me on Instagram if you want to. I'll put my Instagram right here. It's SwanXDon. And make sure to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this one. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.